The Israeli Navy has intercepted the global Samud flotilla, which was sailing toward Gaza, bringing humanitarian aid. We're bringing baby formula, food, medical supplies to millions of people who are currently surviving as best they can a genocide in Israel, which is using starvation as a weapon of war, which is a war crime. Now, the flotilla is made up of more than 40 civilian boats. At 7:25 p.m., roughly 20 Israeli naval ships approached the flotilla and ordered the boats to turn off their engines, activists said on social media. According to Drop Site News, at 8:30 p.m. Gaza time on October 1st, organizers say Israeli commandos illegally boarded several flotilla ships, including Alma, Sirius, and Adara in international waters. Before the assault, Israeli naval vessels allegedly sabotaged communications to block distress calls and cut live streams. Contact has since been lost with multiple boats, and the status of many participants is still unknown. Calling it an illegal attack on unarmed humanitarians, flotilla organizers stressed the mission is not over. Despite interceptions, the global Samud flotilla remains 70 nautical miles from Gaza, and we will continue undeterred. Israeli Channel 13 is reporting that the Navy has seized 6 of the flotilla's largest vessels at this point. They've arrested Greta Thunberg, who was aboard the Alma boat in the Samud aid flotilla. You could see footage of that here. Passengers are reporting that Israel is shooting water cannons at ships that haven't been intercepted yet. They say one of the vessels was also rammed by the IDF. And if you watch, they have a stream on YouTube. Throughout the day, today, you were able to see one by one IDF boats pulling up alongside these sailboats, spraying water cannons and jamming the communications to break and disable their equipment and knock them offline. And one by one, you were watching as these streams went dark, and you have no idea what happens to these people. And we hope for the best possible outcome, that they make it out of this situation safe and alive. But again, Cenk, all they're trying to do is bring food, baby formula, and medical supplies to Gaza.
Yeah, so first of all, I love these folks. So I can't stand it when the people on the other hosts on TV or online are like, oh, Greta Thunberg, oh, ha ha ha, she's not real. What are you talking about? What are you doing to help in the middle of a genocide? What are you doing? Let me see all the other anchors. You got a better idea? No, 90% of them go kiss Israel's ass. Oh yeah, of course, you should starve the children. That's a great idea. What a moral army, right? They're at least trying to do something, something significant. And look, there is a way that it could have worked, by the way, and it almost happened. At one point, Spanish and Italian ships joined in to make sure that they were okay. They should have just kept going with them. And all the different armies in the world or governments in the world were not coming to invade Israel, not coming to do anything, just deliver food to Gaza. Because the Israelis are starving children to death. And that's somehow a debatable issue. Isn't that amazing that it's debatable? So the Israeli zealots come on all over media and they do their hasbara, right? And they're like, oh, there is no starvation. And you show them the kids starving. They're like, yeah, but he also had a flu. He had a pre-existing condition. So that's why we starved him to death. That makes it better? And then we have to debate it. And then they say, oh, well, you're an anti-Semite. If you don't want to murder Palestinian children, then obviously you hate Jews. And oh, these people, they're trying to help by feeding them. Well, it's not going to be very effective or efficient. Okay, you got an effective and efficient way? Then let's do that. I would love it. All the world's governments should have joined this flotilla, and they should hang their head in shame for not joining it and for letting Israel boss the whole world around. We have said you are not allowed to feed the Palestinians. No one is allowed to cross us. You hate Jews, you hate Jews, you hate Jews. Let us starve the Palestinians. Wait, if you're starving them, don't you hate them? No, of course. So look, These are wonderful folks. I hope none of them get hurt. Sometimes Israel kills people that are in flotillas. It happened in 2010. By the way, they killed a Turkish American there, and as usual, the American government was like, "Oh yeah, great, no problem. Yeah, oh, kill Americans all day long. Who cares? Oh, Israel. Israel has killed what now? What are we up to? 8 or 9 Americans since 2022 in the occupied territories, and the U.S. response has been nothing. Like, I mean, yeah, you're murdering Americans, but you're Israel, so we bow. Don't say it, you're an anti-Semite. But is it true? Did they kill those Americans, the Israeli settlers in the IDF? Yes. Did America do anything about it? No. No, actually, to be fair, we did do something about it. We sent him another check. Biden sent $18 billion. Oh, you're murdering Americans and starving Palestinian children. Here's $18 billion. And all of Congress was like, Israel, we bow. And they sent them $18 billion. Did they or did they not, mainstream media? Did they or did they not? They did. And now Trump is like, oh, here's another 6 billion, here's another 7 billion. Oh, Israel. But if you object, anti-Semite, cancel them. Okay, so that's where we are with this sick country at this point, committing a genocide in front of the whole world and go, oh, you're trying to feed people we're purposely starving to death? You're the terrorist sympathizers. You know what scared the hell out of me, Jordan? When the Israeli government in the middle of the Flotilla's journey said, oh, we think they are working with Hamas. And that's what Israel says right before they murder you. So, of course they're not working with Hamas. That's just a generic thing that Israel does before they assassinate someone or just flat out murder them. And that's the sick terrorist government we're supporting right now.
Yeah, I've got a friend on one of these boats. We've been talking a lot throughout this voyage. And during the breaks, I've been checking his Instagram because he's been going live on Instagram. And right now, his Instagram handle is Quentin Quarantino. You could see it for yourself. This is what they're doing. They are spraying these boats with water cannons to knock their devices offline. The streams, like I mentioned earlier, are going black because what's happening here is around 500 compassionate souls from around the world are trying to bring aid to a starving population. And the Israeli military is stopping them from doing that in international waters. They have no legal right to intervene here, just as they have, of course, no legal right to use starvation as a weapon of war, to commit a genocide. The head of Israel is wanted in the International Criminal Court, and the United States government welcomed him. He met with influencers. We'll get into that later this hour. And this is how they treat people who are just trying to intervene, to stop an atrocity. And I worry about the safety of everyone. I worry about, of course, my friend on there. And we were talking earlier this week, and he had to record videos for when he is captured that will get posted after that happens by somebody else. But he also had to record a video in case of his death. And I was talking to him about, like, what does that feel like? You are now forced, because you want to stand up for people who are starving and who are living through a genocide, the survivors right now, a population that is enduring a genocide. You now, as somebody who has taken action to try to intervene, now have to think about your own mortality. And it shook him up. Of course, it's not something that he thought he would have to consider at 30 years old. He just turned 30 on September 21st. And along the way, it wasn't just these threats. I mean, these threats provide a permission structure, of course, like you say, Cenk, but they had already endured multiple drone attacks along the way. There were these quadcopter drones that were dropping incendiary devices on the boats. And then they were lying in the media. It's like, oh no, that was just a flare. No, that was just someone smoking a cigarette. And then the security footage came out and you could see an incendiary device coming down and hitting the boat. And it happened multiple times. A few nights ago, they were dropping bombs around the boats to try to intimidate them, to try to deter them. And no, they're still going. They are still going right now, and every single boat will be intercepted. And again, we hope and pray that all of them get out of the situation alive.
Yeah. So one of our members on YouTube, Mark Francis 076, wrote in, what gives Israel the right to arrest people in international waters? America does. Because normally no country is allowed to be above the law and you can't do things like that. But when they're brought to the United Nations or anything else to enforce the law, America goes, no, veto. Israel is above the law. They don't. Every other country has to listen to international law except Israel. They're above the law and they can do whatever they want. Well, that seems unfair to the rest of the world. Anti-Semite. But wait, why can they drop incendiary devices that could potentially burn the boat and everybody on board? And in international waters, anti-Semite, you can't ask that question. Maybe it murders everybody on the flotilla, and that would be terrible, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't. That would be the most moral thing you could do. I mean, I can't stand the Hezbollah anymore. I can't stand it. And I can't stand that our media is like, oh, I can't tell. I mean, the kids are starving to death. And we see the pictures and we see the videos, and we saw them drop bomb after bomb. You remember the headless child? The dad holding the child without the head? You remember the people on fire when they drop bombs in tent cities? And mainstream media isn't even debating it. They're not even debating it. Everybody bow, otherwise you're hateful. Them murdering all these people, not hateful. You pointing out a fact that they're murdering these people, hateful. Fire them, cancel them, anti-Semite, okay? So, I mean, and look at the absurdity. They're so above the law, both in terms of the politics, law, and in the media, that they'll say absurd things like, oh, somebody just dropped a cigarette. It's a drone. Who dropped a cigarette from a drone? And then you see the video, and it's an incendiary device. Of course they're lying. Israel lies almost every single time. So somebody asked, do the people in Israel really understand how the rest of the world is seeing them? No, they're blind, totally blind. I mean, I've seen now documentary after documentary inside Israel. Guardian had just a quick 15-minute documentary. They're partying, they're on the beach, and then you ask them about, well, the Palestinians are suffering. They're like, no, they're not. They had it coming. They're a bunch of terrorists. Get out of here. And then you look at the polling, and the polling is unbelievable. It's like high 50s to some polls, and I hope that it's not true, at 82%, saying, no, keep going. Like, we don't like that Netanyahu, but do we want the new leader to keep murdering people in Gaza? Of course we do, because we're the most moral army. And you're not allowed to criticize us, otherwise we'll murder you, plus you're an anti-Semite. Okay, well, we're all sick of it. We're all sick of it. You do not get special privileges. You don't get picked on in a special way. And because it's Israel, we should have different rules. No, we want the same rules for every country. But Israel demands special rules above the law. But if you complain, you're the one who's discriminating. No. Israel's supporters have lost their minds. They are supporting things that they will deeply regret later. They will probably live in shame once they realize that what they've done and how callously they did it. I can't stand this one country being able to break every law, kill anyone they like, bomb any country they like, and force us to pay for it. So go work another shift for Israel. You haven't given them enough money yet. And when you ask them, why should I pay for your genocide? What kind of a lunatic says you must pay for my genocide? They said, well, if you don't pay for a genocide, you hate Jews. You have to pay for our genocide. Otherwise, why do they say such insane things? No one could possibly believe that, right? But number one, they're blind, so they do believe it. They genuinely think they're the good guys. They don't think they're evil. They think like, oh, thank God we're murdering them. Oh, we got to keep ourselves safe. We're in existential danger. We only have nukes and Iron Dome and everything. We're the victims. We're the victims. Kill them. We're the victims. Shut up. You're not the victims. You're not at all the victims. Have Jews been victims throughout the history of the world? Yes. Is Israel a victim now? No, they are the aggressor. They're a terrorist nation, and it's not close. And anyone who doesn't tell you that is lying to you on purpose to protect this sick terrorist government.